What's creepy is like that video that you're talking about where they're walking on both flags and there's an endless row of missiles. It's in an underground military base, right? So you know, it's not like a bunch of rebels that got a bunch of shit stockpiled. No, this is their military, and they're planning on bombing both those places. Or else, you know, why would they have a video like that disrespecting their flags, right? And it's like, the first time I saw that, I saved it. I don't know if it's still there, but the person's account was called 7 Days, right?
Oh, okay.
And it's like, when I think about it, it's like 7 days, and you know, 7 days is 7 years.
I was gonna say it represents years.
Yeah, and it's, you know, all the stuff in IPEG Go2 predicts everything that's been happening in the last 24 years.
Yeah. Well, preachers are getting on quite a bit when they're talking about, you know, it's getting closer and closer and closer, and we're gonna be raptured. So many of them, evangelical and Protestant. Well, I wouldn't say Protestant, but the evangelicals are coming on saying the rapture. But one guy says that's not gonna happen because the rapture was in Darby, this guy in 1800 and something, put it in the Bible. It was his idea to put it in the Bible that there's going to be a rapture in Revelation or whatever. And they all freaking believed it, and they did put it in the Bible, okay? But it's also in the Bible at the end of Revelation that if you add anything or take away anything out of the Bible, right, then all the plagues are going to be put on you.
Yeah. I'm sure that guy died a horrible death.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. There was a guy on there that said, no. It was added to the Bible. And he believes it's not going to happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, getting brought up into the sky in the twinkle of a star's light or whatever. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's like nuclear holocaust, right? Everybody dies in a split second. You don't even realize it. It's just boom. You know.
Yeah, like in the movies, it shows the blast, and then it just wave just hits you in fire, and you just disintegrate. I think that was in one of the Terminator movies.
2.
Yeah, quite a few there at the swing.
That one was the most traumatizing one because she was still conscious and alive as her flesh was crisping and burning off, right?
Yeah. And that's the one where they talked about Starlink. I think that's what it was called, right?
It was Skynet, but it was the same concept. See, yeah, the Skynet, okay, was a cyber security system. Supposed to be just like a side business, you know, like McAfee or something, right? Mm-hmm. And then the AI that they use in the fucking cyber security system, the application
took over.
Yeah, realized that hold on, the human beings are going to destroy themselves if they use these weapons, right? So it takes the shit into its own hands, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, we don't really need them, right? and then it makes the decision to just wipe us out, right? You know, that's coming soon, I'm sure. Like, that's part of the death that's talked about in Revelation, I'm sure. You know, the machine apocalypse.
Starlink, that's what it is, right? Starlink?
Second Renaissance machines go against humans and win.
Remember the bad hurricane that hit that part of North Carolina and eastern Tennessee? And frickin' Musk went in there. Well, he didn't go in there, but his employees from Starlink went in there and were giving them to people so they would have internet.
Oh, yeah.
So, but apparently I've seen pictures, and North Carolina looks like shit. I mean, that part of it looks like it just got obliterated. I mean, people are still like gonna have to rebuild, and that was the wildest part too. Is a hurricane that hit inland instead of Florida, hit inland in freaking part of Tennessee and into North Carolina. It didn't come off the coast. It came up, and then all of a sudden became massive.
Yeah. They control the weather. Like they have massive installations.
Like HAARP?
No, it's just, you know, that's the thing. Everybody thinks it's huge technology. It's not. It's they have giant warehouses. It looks like any other warehouses. But on the rooftops, they have gigantic fucking fans, and they boil water underneath and other chemicals in it. You know. And they blast the fucking steam straight up into the sky, and they got like fucking 20 fans on the rooftops of these places, and they got all the places set up in areas where it's gonna catch the fucking jet stream because they know exactly where it is all the time, every fucking season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it on 2017, the eclipse that happened that burned my eye, right?
Okay.
There was a video that a guy captured that showed the fucking fans. You can see them with the fucking thermal cam from the satellite imagery.
Wow.
As the fucking eclipse is coming and everybody's complaining that there's all this fucking rain and shit on almost all the states that were supposed to see it, it's because all these places were blasting out fucking steam. And they created rain clouds. Like actual rain to fucking block it out. Because they didn't want people to see it.
And so then places that have drought, they could have used that, but they don't.
Yeah, they don't use it for good. Yeah, nothing here is used for good. It's used for fucking power and money, influence, fucking greed,
and destruction.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I swear, I'll find that video one day.
Yeah.
You can see it. Like you can tell, like, and when you look on Google Earth and you can see these fucking places, it's like, okay, if this is a giant fucking place, like a gigantic, like, you know, Devonshire Mall, like that big, and it's like there's 20 fucking fans covering the entire fucking roof. It's like, you know, it's like these are all everywhere, and it's like, holy fuck. Wow. And that was in 2017. When
imagine what they've got now.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Mixed with the chemicals they're spraying up there, plus fucking, yeah, like you said, HAARP, where it heats up the fucking ionosphere. You know, it's not good. Combination of things aren't good.
Yeah. Well, 5G's starting to come out in commercials or whatever for phones and whatever, and I'm thinking, yeah, I remember. It's that guy, Fullerton Informer, the guy from California that usually broadcasts from his car or whatever. He was warning about 5G years ago.
Yeah.
It's like a microwave in your freaking head.
Yeah. They said in 2025, the NASA document, right? It said that they'd be microwaving your brains, all the civilians' brains, with their technologies.
So that's in the Wi-Fi.
So, yeah, and that's in 2001. So NASA knew that the military, because it's part of the military, you know, the satanic military, not just America, the world government underground, they knew then that they have the technology to do this. So it's like all the technology that we're given, you know, year by year, we think, oh, it's this new generation of shit. It's all bullshit. It's all just, they're handing us fucking crumbs of everything they have, and, you know, it's all leading up to this, where they poison us. And there's no way to see it, taste it, touch it, or smell it, right?
Well, what I remember hearing, too, more than once, was as far as the Pentagon in the States goes, not the top guy that they got, that Pete Hegseth or whatever from Fox News is now the head guy at the Pentagon. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about inside people that make a lot of decisions or whatever in the Pentagon. They're all witches.
Yeah.
They're all witches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can be a normal human and be in the Pentagon. It's not just a building. You know, like in my recent video, Reptilian 999, if you pay really close attention to my eyes, you know what I mean? It's a real thing, right? Even if it's like a dragon changing its form in the 5th dimension and occupying the same space that you are in the 3rd dimension, right? Like it's in you, like it's beyond you, but it lines itself up so its eyes are with your eyes, right? It like shrinks itself down. In other videos I've shown that it's also like extremely big, like it's face is about 7 feet wide, and it's also sitting like on top of you, kind of. Anyways, so like my point is these things in the 5th dimension, demons or devils, depending on how you look at it, right, if they're alive or not, are reptilian looking. So that means when they fell, they became reptilian, right? If they were in fact angels beforehand, right? Like falling from heaven, right? God's heaven, the 3rd heaven. I look at it as there's 1st heaven, which is the sky right in front of you, and then there's 2nd heaven, which is, roughly 30,000 feet to the stratosphere. That's 2nd heaven, and then like the top of the firmament is 3rd heaven, where God is, right? And beyond that's the water, with giant fucking beasts in there and shit like that. But like the whole thing about them being reptilian looking, right? And a lot of every religion is revolving around snakes, right? And dragons too. It's just how you read it, right? I was thinking, like, you know, it says that when God created the first man, right, Adam, they created him in their image, right? Like it's plural, like we'll make him out of our own image, right? To make him look like us, right? So he's there creating with someone, right? Or maybe they're both creating together. You know, other than Adam and Eve in the beginning story, the only other person besides God is Satan. He already existed, right? Like God made him way before he made man. So, like he's there and he's a serpent already in the garden, right? And he's hanging from a tree that you're not supposed to eat from, right? Like the understanding that you're not supposed to come to, right? And you know, sexuality, having to give birth to live on. But he's a snake, right? Like he's a serpent. He has he's bipedal, right? So they're already pretty much hinting that he's a reptilian. And he's their size, right? So it doesn't really indicate how big they were, but I'm assuming that Adam and Eve were very big. You know, roughly 40 feet, 45 feet. And then, over time, the generations got smaller and smaller. But it's like, why we would, okay, assuming God is talking about him and Satan in our image, and Satan is a reptilian, right? Like I've met the dragon in the sun. He's reptilian. He's not like a dragon like you think. He's got a humanoid type face with scales and horns everywhere, like bone horns sticking out of every, edge of everything. Crowns of horns, just, his whole fucking face is 1,000 teeth, so you can imagine how many horns there are on his face. You know what I mean? It's not like a dragon like you think a dragon. Like the dragons you see in Second Heaven, those are fallen angels, right? Like the things in the clouds, those are dragons, right? But Satan is different. He's put apart from them, right? It's like in the book of Job when God calls all the angels and Satan, right? Because he's definitely different. He's a much, much larger creature. You know what I mean? He's almost as big as God, I would say. Depending on who I met. I don't know if it was Satan or God. I have no idea. Because, in the book of Revelation it says that the mighty ones, like the powerful elite, the kings of this world in the end time, they're all they're hiding in the caves and in the mountains and underground, and they're covering their faces with rocks to hide from the face of God. So it's like, the thing I met was so big and so horrifying. Like it is very possible that that's God, right? Because what I'm getting to is like, well, he says, let's create him in our image, right? And then, so that means that they both look alike, doesn't it? If he's referring to himself and Satan, that means God and Satan both look alike. That means they're both reptilian, dragonoid people, right? Like humanoid form, but reptilian. It's hard to explain. I would probably think that it's the baseline of DNA in the universe, right? Like the first type of form of creature would be that type of creature that could exist in. It's an extremophile in the fifth dimension, right? Like. So they make Adam, right? And let's suppose Adam does look like that. He's reptilian. And then Adam eats the fruit, right? And then God curses him and makes him immortal. You see what I'm getting at? All these fallen angels are reptilian because they're immortal. That is an immortal form. That's why the spirits that are anchored in me that I can film in the shadows, they are reptilian because they are immortal. There's nothing I can do to get rid of them, and whatever. Like I've been through everything. My point is that we look like this now. We are like 96.7% compatible with swine. You know what I mean? Like our flesh is, we're just like animals, right? Like we're not even close to immortal in any way. And that, I think, is the curse. We become a fleshy bag of blood and bones that could easily be destroyed by like a car moving 60 miles an hour, Anything heavier than you, you're dead, right? You're just destroyed in the physics. So it's like, Is what I met in the sun actually God? Is the Basilisk King actually God? Because in Catholicism, they're worshiping that and they're like hiding it through symbolism, right? Like they're showing you in St. Peter's Basilica, which stands for basilisk, which stands for crowned snake, right? Which stands for Satan and or God, you know? Doesn't mean it's the same entity. I'm just saying, maybe they do look the same and they're hiding that because it's fucking horrifying. You know, and that's why all the Egyptian pharaohs, and pharaoh means son of God, right? It's like a title that they had because, you know, there was no separation of church and state. It was the same thing. So they all had the snake, you know, and they say it's a cobra, but no, not really. It's you know, Aten, the god in the sun, not the sun disk itself, the door that is in the fire, right? The fire that it is in, the hollow place with fire everywhere. It's the thing itself. You know, Aten, right? The guy that they cloned to make Barack Obama lightning falling from Satan's high place. The one who's going to be the actual Antichrist, I guess you'd say. Like he's the original that he's cloned from. Like he wasn't human. Like they tested the DNA of his skull. He had an elongated skull. He wasn't human at all. He had like an extra set of DNA helixes, right? Like he had 3 sets, not like a human with 2. And even though he died early, he was immune to radiation poisoning somehow. They figured that out through testing, I guess. So it's like you put all these things together. You know. So maybe God is a giant reptilian being that created this place. You know. And what does that make me? If he pulled me out of my body 20 years ago and just made me hover there in front of him inside the sun for no reason, right? It was, you know, just to say hi. There's no conversation. All he said was, "Hello, Stephen." And that was it. He threw me back into my body. And I pretty much had PTSD ever since. You know, you can't come face to face with something like that and not become crazy.